It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this invigorating, robust lifestyle show. I am just so very excited today. But first, I would like to take a moment to thank each one of our listeners, as I am just so very grateful for each one of you that have tuned in live and the ones that will be listening to the recording on the podcast. And now that I've said that, as I said, I am so very excited today because I have with me one of my returning divas, Nancy Lee Gerson, and her and I are going to chat about horses as energy workers. Oh my, are you all in for a very, very special show today? Nancy, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners today?
I would love to. It's always good to be with Divas That Care, Robust Lifestyles, you, Joyce, and Candace, your kindred spirits. So I have horses. I love horses. The first thing to know about me. I honor my horses. I've learned a lot from them. And I wrote a book about my equine love story. It's called The Horse Who Changed My Life, My Serendipitous Journey Through Equus. And I'm open for our topic today. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, yes, it definitely is. And, we have so much in common already when you say you love horses. Oh, my goodness, that puts it at the top. So,
yeah.
Well, and with your book, that is just fabulous. Your book, where can our readers, since you mentioned your book, where can our readers purchase your book? What is the best place for them to get a copy of your book?
Oh, I'm happy to tell you that my daughter, Hannah Chavez, who designed the front and back covers and the interior design, she also created my website. She kept it very simple and yet elegant. It's simply nancyleegerson.com, just NancyLeeGerson.com. On there are all the online retailers, Amazon, etc. But also there's a button to click to buy directly from me. I love that option because I autograph the book and I put a personal note in. And they mail them right away. I get very excited. I just did a post office run today for someone. So they can buy them on Amazon, but they could also go to my website where they'd see Amazon and also the option to buy directly from me. So thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. And I love that, to buy directly from you, and that way it can be personalized with your autograph in it. That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And now, you're welcome. And now, as we start to talk about our topic, horses as energy workers, what are some of the things that come to mind to you or that your horses have shared with you that we need to share with the listeners today?
Well, I love the topic. I know that energy work is something that's become it's not such a mysterious word as it used to be. I mean, I remember when transcendental meditation, when I got initiated at 18, it was very mysterious. It was very inner path and all, and it was so esoteric. And now, you could be on a public transportation bus and you can actually see people meditating. Your grandmother might be meditating. It's same with energy work. It's becoming a known quantity. With horses, a little more recent that it's getting known. But more and more people are discovering that horses are amazing energy workers. Some other animals as well, but there is something special about the frequency at which horses live, operate, and breathe, and there's something about getting with a horse that's really extraordinary. So I thought we would talk a little bit about how they can balance or align or clear chakras in the human body, and also with their herd mates. They also can do that with each other. And then I thought we could talk a little bit about how they can do some healings with people. Besides chakras, there are just other things they do, something called leeching, but we could get into. So before I go further, you probably want to focus me in a little bit.
Oh, I love all of it. We may be doing a sequel to this. We'll see how how much we can share with our listeners today, and what we do not share, we will come back in 2023 and share another part of it. So
it's a deal.
I just love it. I'm going to ask you, what part do you feel most led about today to share with the listeners, about the chakras, or do you feel more about the healing energies that the horses can give? Which part resonates and you feel the universe needs to hear the most today, Nancy?
Oh, that's so clear to me that the chakra alignments are really the place I'd like to go. And I could easily see another session or two in some of the other modalities. But about the chakras, I just have to say that with the title of my book, the subtitle rather, being My Serendipitous Journey Through Equus, along with the other serendipities of how I came to have a life with horses, how I learned about chakra balancing with horses is also extraordinarily serendipitous. I knew about chakras, the vortices, wheels of energy in the human body. I wasn't an expert by any means, but I knew that. I knew about that a bit. But I was taking a course in becoming an equine Gestalt coach out in Colorado, and about 6 months into the course, the founder, Melissa Pierce, was talking about chakras in the horses and how the chakras can you can locate them in the body of a horse, and how they can actually balance chakras in the human realm. All of those things. We were about 6 months in, and just at that time, I met my third horse, Dalai Lama, and she was a young 14-month-old, and I went by myself to see her. I saw her once with a friend, and then I went back 2 days later on my own, and she started moving her body around my body in a way that I knew was chakra balancing. She was doing what I was just then learning about. Like 7 months earlier, 8 months earlier, I really wouldn't have connected to it with knowledge. So it was very synchronistic. She started giving me her root chakra from her butt, and she was putting it against my chest. And at that time, it was her being alive was perilous. She had a slight conformation issue with one of her feet, and she was going to be what's called culled from the herd. It was a breeding ranch, so she wasn't of use to them, because they didn't know if her conformation issue was in utero, congenital, or what it was in the lines. So they were going to cull her, put her down, and so she had that issue, and I at the same time was a little worried about my finances. Some things had gone awry. So there she is, just giving me her root chakra, which is about security, well-being, all is well kind of awareness. And then she moved around and gave me her heart chakra. And it couldn't have been clearer. I mean, she turned her body around and gave me that portion of her torso that's connected to the heart chakra. And then she turned around and did it on the other side. She gave me that same position, heart chakra from both of her sides. And then she gave me her butt, her root chakra again. And I'm crying. I am like standing there with, my arms at my side, allowing. I'm crying because I'm having this awareness of what's going on. And then she, as I say, she gave me a little more root chakra, and then she moved away, which I've come to see that other horses, when they do whatever healing work, when they're done, they're done.
Mm-hmm.
They literally physically move off of your body. So that's one. That was very powerful. And the serendipity and the synchronicity of it just tickles me to no end.
Oh my word, that is just absolutely incredible. And she was so young. I mean, when you think of a 14-month-old, they're young. They're very young. Oh, my goodness. And her to have all of that knowledge to be able to know, and like you said, you were kind of struggling with finances at that time, some things had happened. She knew. That's why she was doing with the root chakra and the heart chakra. She knew exactly what you needed, and you hadn't spoken a word to her about it. That's what me.
No, not at all. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I had another horse do a chakric healing on me, and it turned out that like 2.5 weeks later, the horse transitioned, passed on. It was a horse that was more senior in years, still young, only 17, but this was a Gypsy Vanner. And Melissa Pierce, who is, I say, the founder of the Gestalt program, was Touched by a Horse, equine Gestalt coaching is the full name. She maintains that Gypsy Vanners are half in the fairy realm and half in the equine realm. They do a lot of healing work, a lot of chakric work, and her horse Fancy was one of those real meticulous workers. Big horse. Every time she balanced you on one side, she would always go to the other side, and that's indeed what happened with me. We were, I was in one of the training programs, coaching program. It was an all-day, one of the 4 all-days that I was attending that year, and there was a lunch break, and all the other women, I think that group was just women, they all went out and scattered upon Melissa's property to have their lunch. And I normally would have done that too. Something moved me to go out to the horses, and I even did what I probably wasn't supposed to be doing. I was so moved to go into Fancy's run. I opened it up and took myself inside, and I walked out to the outside portion of her run. It was one of those barns that had half inside, half outside for their like 10 by 30 runs. I walked out to the sunny part where the horse shared rail with another female horse, Tori. And I stood at the rail and I said hi to Tori. And Tori was somebody who was used for people whose hearts were heavy, hearts were grieving, hearts were broken. She was an amazing healer in that realm. Turns out she herself had lost 3 babies, so this was a horse who knew about grief. Yeah, and the story might not be quite as sad. I don't want to misrepresent it. It was either that they were lost, or they were taken away from her and given homes elsewhere. Right. I can't quite remember it clearly now, but she knew about grief. She knew about loss, and that was the horse that was used for coaching for people who needed a lot of heart healing. So there I was just standing with her, and I didn't know I had anything particularly heavy on my heart, but as I'm stroking her, I start crying. I start weeping, and my head goes up, and I start sounding out loud, I want to do right by my horses. I want to do right by my horses. I want to do right by my horses. I'm crying this up into the sky. And with that, I turn slightly around because I sense a presence behind me, and it's Fancy. Fancy had moved over to me. And again, I was learning about these things with the program. It was past that 6-month mark. I was into probably a full year at that point. So I knew that Fancy was coming over to offer me a healing session. I had also seen her work before in the training program itself. So I turned my back to the rail, put my arms at my side, and She was a big girl. She proceeded to give me a lot of root chakra. I was still having some pretty serious financial worries, so that made sense to me. And then here's what's interesting. She didn't give me a lot of heart chakra. That was not the part of her body that she offered. And that made sense to me. I had all the heart in the world for my horses. But what she did give me was a little further down her body, a little further towards the posterior. She gave me her sacral, the will and determination. She gave me that a lot. She just kept giving me that side of her body. And then she turned around and gave it to me from her other side of her body. And I knew then, and here's the thing about, messages that we get from other sentient beings, they're rather quick and simple. I've learned that. I don't say that lightly. I have this Western mind that can overthink things. But I've learned that some of these communications and messages, they're simple and they're fast. And I knew as it was going on, the message was, just keep going, Nancy, just keep going. I remember writing that in my journal at the time. It wasn't like, it didn't take me a long time to figure that out. It wasn't a figuring out. It was a message. Just keep going, just keep going. Then she gave me a little more root chakra. Well, I shouldn't say a little more. She actually was doing it rather forcefully, kind of grinding back and forth. And I remember knowing that if anybody not part of this program were to have seen it, they might have thought I was in some serious trouble. Meanwhile, I'm just more weeping, and she's just grinding against the rail. Tori's on the other side of the rail. And I knew she was giving me just a really strong sense of groundedness. The all will be well root chakra grounding. And then she was done. She was done. She moved off of me, and she was not a very affectionate horse. Melissa, I don't think, would mind me saying that. She was a worker. She was done with me. We didn't nuzzle. I didn't hug her afterwards. She moved off of me several inches away and stood there, solid, complete. And that was the healing.
Oh, girl. What a beautiful experience. Oh my goodness. It just gave me such a warm heart as you were talking about all that, because how it was touching you, and the horses knew exactly, because like you said, the sacral is the will, determination, and they were telling you to just keep going. Yeah. And how beautiful. And then with the root chakra grounding you, so you would feel all that. And, oh, Nancy, wow. I can only imagine what a spiritual uplifting that was, and what an experience you had uniting like that with the horses.
Yes, excuse me. And if you add the piece to that, Joyce, as I've made a quick reference when we first began, I have analytical kind of, I want to say Western culture mindset, if that makes sense to people. I was a lawyer for 35 years, recently retired. So when I say that a message can come through simple, deep, but simple, or deep and simple, that's saying a lot for me. Any animal communication experiences I've had, there have been some, blessedly, they are that fast and simple and certain. They have certainty to them that my analytical mind doesn't need to rumble and tumble with. Thank goodness. Thank Spirit.
Yes. Oh, I agree with you so much, because I communicate with my animals, and it's so direct. It's not well if, or it's not what if, or could this be, or they're just plain and simple. And it's so easy to understand, and it's such a comforting feeling when you hear their voices like that, or however you communicate with them, when you feel that. It is, I agree with you so much. It is so certain and it is so direct. Animals are they're so spot on. There's none of this going around and around about things. They just say it like it is, and I love that. I love the directness.
Yeah, and of all the wonderful words you've just spoken, there's a little phrase there that is really a large key. Simple enough phrase. You said, or however it is you communicate, or however it is they communicate. I don't want to misstate, but it was one of those two. That's a beautiful, that's a beautiful, simple little phrase that you said, just getting from your point A to point B, but right in the middle of your sentence there, or however it is they communicate. That's the beautiful thing, that we don't have to have it be one way or the other. A color could come, words could come, a visual image could come, a sudden pain in the left side of your temple, a gut feeling. When it comes and it has certainty like that, it doesn't matter if it came the way your friends come or the masters who you've read or had visit your animals and you just sort of drool over the depth of their communications. However yours come with your sentient beings, you honor it. You say yes to it. That's what I do. Again, and dropping the analytical Nancy lawyer brain, saying yes to the universe is a very quiet and certain moment. Sacred moment.
Sacred. That's exactly what I call it. It is definitely a sacred moment. I feel every time I'm out there with my horses, we're just in a sacred moment together. Mm-hmm. Whether I'm even just feeding them or what I'm doing or just touching them, brushing them, whatever it is, it's just sacred to me because what they give to me is just, it's incredible. And sometimes, I don't really hear anything. It's just a feeling, of peace and calmness and just being in the present. Because my older horse, that is what he is all about. Be in the present moment. And he tells me that, and that's who he is. And I mean, I know that most of them live in that, but he is very much that he wants people to know to live in the present moment. And he brings it across in a very gentle, kind way. He is, they're all three of mine are just, they're magical. That's the only way I can describe horses is they're absolutely magical. They're a sacred animal. They just bring you into a whole nother world. And I love it.
They really do, and I suspect, Joyce, from having been with you a couple of other times already, that we may have a hard stop coming up shortly on the program. So I will just say this briefly, maybe as a little teaser for another program. But really, more importantly, I want to honor the horse by saying just maybe a sentence or two here for all that they give. Horses in the energetic realm, horses also receive from us as well. Mm-hmm. And this is really another topic, but I'm certified in Reiki 1 and 2, not the master level, not yet. I had an experience offering Reiki to my horse Cherokee. He's the horse who changed my life. He's the muse for the book, along with my other horses, but he's the main one. And I offered Reiki to him and had this extraordinary experience of him receiving the Reiki. So I just really felt that I wanted to say that horses receive energetic healings from us as well. I feel that somehow I moved to say that.
Oh, I love that. And that just brings to me how they receive our love also. Because my mare has told me that. She said, I receive your love and you receive my love back. And she said that's what it is all about, is giving and receiving, and we both do it together. So yes, that just fit right in. And oh my goodness, we will have more. I can think of all kinds of different topics that we can bring in 2023, because even with the Reiki, with the horses, I've seen a little bit of it done, and I would love to share with the listeners more about that and how the horses receive it, how they benefit from it, and what you have seen, what they give back to you from it too. So that's another whole show, Nancy.
It is, my dear. Yes, it is.
Definitely. Well, and you are so right. This has gone so quickly. And as we get ready to close this show, what are some final golden nuggets you would like to leave with our listeners today on what we have chatted about?
I think I would leave with everybody that we all can sit at the feet of masters, gurus, rabbis, pastors, swamis, all the gods and goddesses that are dear to us. It's wonderful to come to the masters in whatever form, and revere the masters. At the same time, Joyce, I believe that we all have ancient wisdom within ourselves, just as some of us talk about the ancient wisdom of Equus. True enough, of course. There's also wisdom that we human beings have within us, and I think that while we're revering the masters to whom we come and we sit at their feet, we also can revere the wisdom that we all have. If we could just practice those moments of honoring our own wisdom, I think the world will be better for it.
Oh, that is just beautiful. I love that golden nugget, that within us we all have ancient wisdom, and if we can just acknowledge it and recognize it. Oh, Nancy, that is so beautiful. I just absolutely love that. You are so welcome, and I want to thank you so much for being my guest on Robust Lifestyle, and I so look forward to all the many more chats we are going to have in 2023, sharing with our listeners.
I mean it when I say I'd be honored to come back, Joyce, truly.
Oh, thank you so much, and I will be honored to have you as a guest. So thank you so much, and may you have an absolutely magical day with your horse family and all the other families around you. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Same to you, Joyce, truly. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. And I would like to thank all of our listeners for listening to this absolutely amazing interview with an incredible returning diva, Nancy Lee Gerson. And you heard her. She will be back in 2023, and her and I are going to share so much more with our listeners. Please share this show with all your family and friends, and check out all the other hosts on their shows on divasthatcare.com. Remember, what Nancy said is a golden nugget. Within inside of each of us is ancient wisdom, and all you have to do is acknowledge it and use it. Oh, how beautiful. So have a magical day. Remember, be kind to all. Give your animals that great big extra hug and share all your love with them until we connect again on Robust Lifestyle. Stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.